Hello my friends, Ukrainian forces allowed Russians to take their fallen soldiers from the Volodymyr direction. Recently, Russian column was completely destroyed. They lost around 30 of the armored vehicles, most of them were tanks, and Russians who took their soldiers away, well, not actually the soldiers but the bodies, they filmed this video and here we go. This is the Russian BTR, I think, yes. Or maybe it was the tank, and they say that there's the turret. Yeah, this is the tank for sure, T-72, and there is someone lying still in the field. And here we have the other tank. So basically what Russia did, they tried again to assault on Ukraine as it was 1 year ago with those columns using lots of the armored vehicles. And the result is very similar to what we have seen near to Kiev. Then Russian columns were under attack by Ukrainian artillery and aviation. The result is quite similar. So this attack was poorly planned by the Russian forces. Ukrainian artillery was aiming them like puppies over there, and they gathered together. I don't know why. Usually if you are under attack, you need to split your forces and move around the field at least. And during that attack, Russia lost the commander of this battalion, the Colonel Sergei Polyakov, who was in charge, but still he got the order from the highest generals. What helps Ukrainian army to withstand the Russian attacks is the huge support from civilians. And recently, the mother company of the Atlas VPN took a great part in donations to buy new sophisticated radars for Ukrainian army. Plus, they do support my channel, and in my turn, I support the guys whom I know who are now fighting on the front lines. We have the long-term partnership with the Atlas VPN, and I think it's the best VPN out there, and let me tell you why. As you know, I'm the airline pilot and I used to fly a lot. Then you travel that much, sometimes you lose connections with your favorite websites, internet platforms, or even streaming services. Each country has its own policy and sometimes it may ban your favorite services. That is why Atlas VPN helps me a lot. Then I turn it on, I change my virtual location, and I can open any kind of websites and get the access to my favorite series. For example, now I watch Friends series. They have fantastic dialogues, perfect for me to study English. And you know, after my aviation YouTube channel was hacked, I really started to value security. That is why Atlas VPN is the best out there, because it uses the military standard encryption protocols. It is must-have in our modern society. Then you use the public Wi-Fi services, and not only. Atlas VPN has the device security monitoring feature, and it will warn you if someone will try to break through your device. Also, it's the fastest VPN that I have ever used. Then I watch my favorite series on Netflix. There are no buffering, no lags, no gags, no bags. Absolutely great product. And recently I found out that more than 6 million people, including me, are using Atlas VPN. Right now Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means that you can get a 3 years offer for just $1.99 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This offer is time limited, so check out description and join our awesome Atlas VPN club. Atlas VPN, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. You see, Russia tried many times to take Volodymyr and they already wasted around 2,000 soldiers in their attempts, and it's like a casino. They want to win, but they have to lose a lot, and the more they lose, the more they need to waste for some sort of the small victory. And the bet here rises higher and higher. They cannot say to their higher command that, okay, we lost 2,000 soldiers and lots of the armored vehicles for nothing. We need again to send the battalion to gain some sort of the territories, or at least few meters, to report something. The Russian army bureaucracy machine works like that, and simply generals afraid for their positions, and for them it's easier to send many more new soldiers to die and get some sort of the ground rather than to think about it and maybe get some sort of the alternative decision. Well, as for me, the only alternative decision for Russia is to get their forces out from Ukraine. But they have the political goal stated by the Putin himself to take Zaporizhia and Kherson and Donetsk and Luhansk under their control. So they will continue to do the same stuff. And Russian army failures are not just happening in Vuhledar. For example, here is the crossroad near to the Bakhmut. Again, you can see the column, and they're very close together. You can see the tank on the front, but the rest are quite close. Yeah, sometimes we have the snow, but here you can see it's the sunny day, and if temperature rises a bit, the snow just melts down. So here again, Russia put just on the road their column, and the Ukrainian artillery start to fire the shells, destroying everything around. The same thing that happened in Vuhledar. And again, one more hit, so the column is totally demolished. And yeah, Russia still uses this kind of the old Soviet tactics. Then Soviet Union during the Second World War sent lots of the soldiers wave by wave, but here Russia doesn't have enough resources compared to the Soviet Union in the times of the Second World War. And from those times, war changed dramatically. So now we have drones, now we have surveillance, communication, and you don't need really lots of the forces to achieve your goal. Here Russia still thinks that if they gather enough resources, for example 30 tanks and armor vehicles, they may throw them straight away across the minefield and win something. But with the modern day surveillance, it simply doesn't work like that any longer. Ukraine, on the other hand, uses the different tactics, so we use highly mobile units like Humvees and other light armored vehicles. The speed is priority, maneuverability is the priority for us as well, and heavy tanks are used to break the Russian defense. Russia shows here that they are not mobile, they're just gathering their forces at the same place, and they're very easy targets for the artillery. That shows that the training of the Russian forces is quite poor, and we are not speaking about this particular brigade that was demolished. We also seen this before in many other Russian brigades. You can see on the right that we have some sort of the trees, but for tanks it's impossible to go across those woods, and they're not green, so it's not the summertime, it's not the springtime. That is why the tanks are going just across the field. So I probably may call it the Squid Game in real life. Then Russian soldiers are just running forward to meet their death. And I think that it's even worse, because in a Squid Game at least people had some sort of the goal. Here, what's the goal? What would they win? It's just shocking how the value of the human life can be in our modern times. And believe me, in the future we're gonna see many more of those useless, bloody and failed attacks from the Russian Federation. With the current Russian army command, it's simply impossible to expect something different. We're gonna get back to the news soon, and now let's review the situation in Bakhmut, because it's the hottest spot on the front lines, and Russia is moving also westbound from Blagodatne, and they want to encircle the Krasnohora. The fighting is heavy out there. And if we go to the timeline, yesterday it was like that, the day before yesterday like that. So little by little they are moving forward. However, the acceleration of their move slowed down. That also happened because they lost lots of the soldiers over there in Bakhmut, in Soledar, and their tactics, I mean Wagner's, is to send the prisoners ahead to deflect the attention of Ukrainian army, then analyze the situation on the front lines and spot the positions of the Ukrainian artillery or tanks, and then fire towards them. So this tactics is brutal and barbarian, but there is some sort of the logic compared to the Russian regular army. But the Wagner army was forced to stop hiring new prisoners into their army, and they'll not have that resource as before. And that is why they have to change their tactics basically, and it will not be as effective as it was before with the prisoners. And that is why Bakhmut has the chance to withstand the Russian attacks. Until the moment then the Ukrainian army will get new weaponry from our allies. So the crucial two villages are Ivanovska and Chasov Yar, and there is no movement from the Russian forces in this region for a few days. It means that Ukraine sent some of their reinforcements and they were able to put the defense lines. Whether Russia would be able to break through the defense lines and cut supplies for the Bakhmut city, we're gonna see in the future. Now they advance just from the north side more or less successfully, and they want to cut this road that leads to Slaviansk. Also, their target is Krasnohora. It's partially encircled but still holds, and after all they want to get to Yahidna, but recently Ukrainian counterattack was held in that region and we forced them to retreat from this territory a little. And still it's far away from the Bakhmut city itself. They want to move from the north, from the south, but with the forces they have right now it's not possible. But Russia has lots of the resources, human resources, and with the new mobilization announcement they may send some of the fresh people to die out there, and obviously they may take some of the new territories. But the new mobilization haven't been announced by Putin so far, and there will be a concert that Putin will hold somewhere in Moscow celebrating 1 year since the war has been started, so it's total madness. And as it was reported by the Russian opposition bloggers, people will be given around 500 rubles to participate in the event. And for sure there will be some crazy people with this crazy ideology who would like to attend this concert even without money, for free, but mostly they pay. The United Kingdom may send to Ukraine 2 of the types of the long-range missiles. First is the Harpoon rocket with a range up to 240 kilometers, and also Storm Shadow with a range up to 400 kilometers. I think this one should be launched from the airplane. As for the German Leopard 2 tanks, our soldiers will go to Germany for the training next week, and training takes up to 8 weeks, so a little bit less than 2 months. Our soldiers already got the experience in tanks and also other Western-made equipment, and that is why for them it will be much easier just to study the new type. The same goes with the airplanes. Remember, on a press conference, Rishi Sunak said that the pilot training takes around 3 years. And actually he is right, but it's from zero to hero. Ukraine has lots of the experienced military pilots, and for them it also would be a new type, for example Eurofighter Typhoon. Yes, the philosophy is a little bit different between the Soviet-made airplane and the Western-made, but in general the Western-made airplanes are more comfortable, they have better ergonomics, and you just got used to better things faster. I also was flying Soviet Antonov 26, and then I got the training just a couple of months to fly the Western-made ATR, and believe me my friends, it was fantastic. And yes, you should break your old mindset to get used to the new technology, to the new philosophy, but it was easy for me personally. I think our guys will do the same great job. Again, something is happening in United States skies. There are a couple of new balloons out there, and it was reported a couple of days ago the balloon or unknown flying object was destroyed over Alaska. Right, finally, the Prime Minister of Italy confirmed the delivery of the SAM-T air defense systems to Ukraine. It doesn't mean that we got them now, but they will be soon delivered, and recently it was the massive Russian rocket attack on Ukrainian cities. However, Ukrainian air defense worked absolutely fantastic. Still, there were a couple of the Russian cruise missiles which hit the power stations, but in general there is no massive blackout in Ukraine. And the Ukrainian side reported that a couple of the cruise missiles entered the Romanian airspace, and Romania is the NATO country, but Romania refused to confirm that, and they say that cruise missiles flown over Moldova around 35 kilometers far from the Romanian border. So we have some sort of the conflicting information and we don't know who is right. My friends, now press the like and don't forget to check the link for the Atlas VPN just in the video description below. Atlas VPN is the great sponsor and also the partner of my channel, so they provide the best VPN service out there. Hurry up to join the club. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.